So, I said on YouTube I'd start at 5:30, but obviously I got a little bit eager to hit the track, and we'll get going a few minutes early here. So this is the new piece of R3E content that came out today. It's not something you can actually buy in the store and do like your own offline races with. It's just part of a leaderboard championship, or a leaderboard challenge rather, that they've created. And yeah, it's just this fun little thing R3 has put together with Volkswagen. Sorry, I'm getting messages on Facebook right now. My bad, guys. But no, it's a small leaderboard challenge I put together. If you're not familiar with R3E, leaderboard racing and time trials and that sort of thing is a very big component of this game. They're always holding contests. They're always giving away in-game currency to the winners. In my opinion, they actually do a really good job of it. There's always contests going on. Of course, I'm definitely very anti-modern esports in a way, so I'm not a big fan of the amount of work you need to put in a hot lap. As Mr. Ortner found out this afternoon, I had his stream on to kind of get hyped for this car, and a lot of it just boiled down to him restarting the same opening corners over and over again. But no, R3 does a really good job with their leaderboard stuff. With that aside, today they've partnered with Volkswagen to release the Volkswagen IDR electric concept, which is normally a hill climb car. Volkswagen's taken it to the real ring today, so to coincide with that, they've made a leaderboard challenge on the virtual Nurburgring. And I'm basically going to stream my attempt at all this stuff. I haven't completed a lap yet. I haven't really put together a setup aside from just clicking random numbers and seeing, basically going for my basic values that I use across every car. I've got a post-it note on the side of the screen with times of who I consider to be important people to beat, because obviously I'm not Mr. Esports here. But there are some really talented drivers on the board already. Nicky Themes put in a time, he ran a 6:07. Romain Dumas, who is the actual driver of this car, ran a 6:06. And then Sector 3's, I think he's either a QA guy or their like social media marketing guy, George Ortner. He put down a 6 flat .3, I think, but I've listed as 6 flat on the post-it note. So the goal is to obviously beat all of them, because it's fun. Hopefully we'll run a 5 at some point. But yeah, I have not completed a lap in this car yet. I've ran half a lap just to make sure the steering settings are dialed in. The cockpit camera is configured to my liking, and we'll just see how long it takes to put a reasonable time on the board. George ran his stream for about 3 hours, so hopefully I'll get done a little quicker than that, because I want to fuck around with the crew too later tonight and see all their new update content. But no, thanks for coming out, or if you're watching this on tape delay, you're bored at work and you got it on the background, thank you for choosing to make me a part of your day. I don't know why you do that, but regardless, we're here. So we're going to go for a first lap. I'll just go over the setup. I haven't touched bumper rebound because I don't like doing that right off the bat. My toe, I usually run 0.1 in the front and then positive 0.4 in the rear. Springs I haven't touched again because I'm really not sure what this car is going to do. Camber, I found some stuff with the Group C cars last week or a couple weeks ago when they came out where you can run more rear camber than the front. That just seems to help it turn a lot better. The ride height I've increased because it's the Nurburgring. I haven't touched anti-roll bars yet. Tire stuff you can't touch in hot lap mode. Wing I haven't touched. Brake pressure I haven't touched. I've turned off TC, and I left the preload to 4. So this is my baseline setup. Steering settings I've turned down the FFB. Steering lock I've made it super sensitive. Just some really basic stuff, and I'll show the leaderboard here. Hopefully y'all can see this. I'm not sure if this is part of the main app, but Thomas Jansen of the Netherlands is P1 right now with a 556. I think the top 13 or 14 guys, okay, 13 are in the 5s. Some really good drivers, lots of esports guys in there. You see Oscaro, you see Impact, RRVGT, I'm not sure what the acronym is there. Ortner for Sector 3, he's P14 right now. Lots of people on this leaderboard already. We're going to Scroll. Tons of entries. I mean, look at this. Down to the 300s already. I actually can't scroll fast enough or long enough, but I'm seeing in the 500s now, 700s. There's a fuck ton of people who are registering a lap. I would say, let's scroll to the very bottom. Really good turnout. So out of 1,600 people, we've got 12th to Mace, 11 minutes, 11 seconds. I mean, I'm assuming there's just a wreck there, and he just said screw it and put together a lap anyway. But yeah, Thomas Jansen, P1, 5:56. We are hoping to break into the fives, and ideally be the quickest North American driver, because there's not a lot of North Americans on this list. The only guy I'm seeing from the Western Hemisphere would be Ellison Flauzino from Brazil, running P7th. But Race Room is a very Eastern Hemisphere type game, especially because it's so focused on road racing. But again, a ton of times, a ton of participation, a really cool car. I cannot stand electric cars. I am a big hater of Formula E for various reasons, but I think cars like the Volkswagen IDR are extremely cool. The car is wicked fast. It looks like an insane prototype. So, might as well get going. See how far we can climb up the leaderboard. Cockpit's basically as far as forward as I can tolerate it before it clips through the window. You're not shifting in this car. So, lap 1. Direct drive transmission. It's basically a big electric go-kart crossed with an LMP2 car. I don't remember if it's 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive. Just throwing it out there. Very little wheel spin. Noticing that already. It's gonna be weird not shifting. Might move the camera a bit far forward even if it clips. So we've got that ugly clipping in the top left of the screen. God, it's weird not shifting. Definitely an odd car. Again, I'm not really experiencing wheel spin at all. Again, very first lap with the car. So far the setup's kind of okay, but we don't know speed-wise what we're doing here. I do have experience driving an electric car of some sort, even though it's your shitty indoor electric go-karts. So I kind of understand the amount of torque you have and how liberal you can be on the throttle pedal. I don't necessarily like electric go-karts, but I'll deal with them. You can probably tell by the speed, this really isn't a quick car in terms of posting the big speed numbers. We're only really hitting 250 max, and of course this section's uphill, so we're sitting around 240. But I think it's more the acceleration. and the torque you get coming out of the corner. Car just understeers like crazy on power. Understeered a bit through the carousel. So again, our first goal would be Nicky theme. Whoa, in the grass. This lap will not count. Welcome to time trial. Pikes Peak Carswood has huge arrow. That is correct. So, back to the start we go. Tag the grass at a part I normally don't fuck up at the Nurburgring. Everyone here has different corners they're either good at or kind of shit at. Usually I'm really good at the back half of the track. I'm really not having an issue with the setup. So this is already promising. I think I eyeballed it correct. But we'll see how that pans out at the end of the lap. I do enjoy how the engine's kind of quiet. So once we cross the finish line to complete our first lap, the top part of the screen, basically the whole heads-up display, that'll fill out with drivers we're near. It's kind of a fun car to drive, but I'm gonna say it's arcade-like, just because the grip you have is so ridiculous. That might be realistic, especially in this car. But I wouldn't say I'm being challenged like I would in some of the Group C stuff. This thing's pretty on rails. I think we already picked up some speed. I do believe there's a Delta app for this game, so Ordner had it. But usually I use the Ghost car as a reference, which is kind of dumb of me. Yeah, this car doesn't like rotating under power, so that's interesting. Again, it's probably accurate. R3E feels pretty close, and most of their cars are really good. the circuit again. This is my favorite part of the track, and usually where I gain the most time. Wrecked here last lap. I will say they've modeled the electric motor at least somewhat correctly, because I'm having to use the same throttle rhythm I use in go-karts, where you're on it just as early as possible. Kind of a shitty line through there, but it is what it is. We go flat out through here? Yep, almost. Pretty good lap. We'll see how this pans out though at the line. Got a long way to go to get to the start-finish line. I think it'll be close. Definitely wish the straight line speeds are bigger though. So that's two of our targets down. Coming in at P37 after our first lap. That'll beat Roman and Nikki Thiem. Pretty poor corner. Can we make anything up here though? No. So that's really not a bad first outing. Cars AWD. That makes sense. Alright, so we can do some of our AWD shit then. We'll go no front bar. Someone I remember on Ortner's stream said turn up the preload, so we'll just try that. Save that as V2. Already it feels like an improvement. Brake bias was a good change. Look behind at her ghost. Car length ahead already. Making decent time now. Again, we're going to gain all our time in the corners since this thing hits 250 pretty easy. See what our delta is here at the first sector. Only 3/10, that's not good. We need way more. feel like that was a good sector. Ghost is still remaining with us, so... Uh-oh. Gain it all? A bit. Picked up half a second, though, so that's good. Don't think we're going to get 4 this lap to break into the 5s. There are some setup tricks I could try, but we're not at that point yet. No, I had problems in the carousel last lap. That seemed to be a lot better, and we definitely pulled that time. Good line through there. Picked up 2 tenths, 3 tenths maybe. Late on the throttle. Early on the throttle, that was pretty good. That's what I need for every corner. Over the jump. Probably go full throttle through there next lap. So much downforce, that's not actually a jump, even though in GT3 cars that'll raise the nose if you take it wrong. How ballsy do we be here? Very. Ooh, that front bottomed out. Kind of spoopy. May have touched the grass there. Security lift. Gets a little bit tight over the hill. Here it frees up. And we can relax. I never got a chance to see the Delta, and I don't have the YouTube chat up. But I presume we're not doing too bad. There we go. Not gonna break into the 5s this lap, but it'll be an 03 of some kind. Maybe an 02. That was luck, that wasn't a penalty. Oh, fuck. If I didn't fuck that up, that's an 01. I don't think that was that bad of a lap, though, but... It's not the Pikes Peak car. Yeah, I guess it's like an evil version. Damn, we got 12 people here. Nice. If you got any questions or comments or things you want me to chat about, I will gladly do so. We have assists on. Factory ABS, yeah, that's fine. Alright, exploit set time. Let's go like... And then Ortner did something stupid like this. But we are very close to our goal. So that's always good. Hey, that's not too bad. Off we go. Don't see my ghost. So I guess this wasn't really an improvement. Gotta pick up 2 seconds though, which is really hectic. Sitting P19 overall out of 1600. See what the delta is here. Oh, 0.2. Wow. That's what I needed. We are ahead. We're just not ahead by much. Corner's kind of hectic. Front end doesn't feel like it'll bite, and then it finally bites. Not a bad lap right now. Up 7 tenths, 7.5 tenths. We need a lot more, but making gains already, which is really good progress. Fuck. That sucks. But we didn't really lose a lot of time there. So that's okay, I guess. Being super greedy right now because I'm pissed I blew the carousel. a lot of time I threw away. That was lucky. Full throttle through there. Oh, that kind of sticks. Probably won't do that again. So I lost some time understeering. Up relatively alright. Really good line through there. Just barely nicked the curb. I hate this corner. Okay, you can take that flat out. You just have to nail the line. Again, making gains here. I think I have an idea for the setup tweak I want to make next. Want to try some inverse ride height, so if there's any underside aero, we get air on the diffuser. And maybe that wing won't slow us down as much. Remember, I fucked up that corner, so there's some time there. Kind of a shitty exit. That'll be a 600 with a 7. That'll be put us P15 right behind George Ortner. Not too bad after 3 laps. Always weird to hear the air noise in a race car. Yeah, this is a very quiet hot lapping session. Are you in stock G29 pedals or have you modified it? No, these are stock. I am not a handyman at all. Ethan's more the handyman guy around here. But this is like as bone stock as you can get. Like the only modification, if you could call it that, is I wipe down the wheel so it's not dusty. That counts as a mod, right? So minimum ride height on the rear is like 3. Oh, this is about to get interesting. So we'll cut the ride height down, but we'll like crank up the springs. I don't expect this to work, but if it does, it'll be really funny. But we ran a very good lap, so I'm way ahead of where I thought I'd be. We'll see if we can get some speed out of this. I will see my ghost car ahead of me, but I'm not too concerned about that. This is kind of a rough ride. Now we'll see what we gain on the ghost here on the straightaway and if it's worth pursuing. I don't think it is, to be honest. I think the car might be like limited in some regard. I'm definitely catching it, but like not... Yeah, it's fucking useless, never mind. Back to V3. So we should save this actually instead of V3, it should be like 6007. So we know that's a safe setup. Just full on exploit. Maybe more ride height. And like more preload. Can't go further on the brake. Try taking a bit of wing out, which I don't think will be ideal, but... read the chat. Yeah, I'm reading the chat in between every lap, which is probably the way to do it. Top speed limited to 200k. Or 250. That makes sense. How is the car? Love it in real life. Yeah, this is a really cool car. It drives surprisingly easy in this game. Like, if you're looking for something that's, like, gonna make a man out of you, no. I would say it's like, it's like an LMP2, but with, like, double the downforce and four-wheel drive. So it's, like, it's really difficult to spin. So what did I do here? Less swing, more ride height. See my ghost already, which isn't good. Gonna turn into Ortner here in a second. Just restart sector 1 over and over again. Wow, that washed out. I'm gonna run this lap out anyway to see if I can make it up. Again, when you drive with your own ghost car, you can see where you lose speed. I know it's like kind of distracting, but you can learn from it. Drove it in too hot there. So I am kind of catching it, but like not really. Definitely gained a bit of time there. Here I always mess up. Yep, that gained some time. More time through there. So I picked up, I was down 3.5, 4 tenths the last split, and I caught my ghost car. I think, yeah, my last lap, I definitely got a better run out of there. The exciting part is if I beat this, the car in front of me, I know I've made mistakes this lap, so I can just run it out again. And I did fuck up the carousel. It's another thing. So how much do I actually gain? Oh, I gained like 2 car lengths. Wow. You gained so much? Okay. Yeah, we can go into the 5s easy. fucked up this corner too. This time I won't. Oh my god. Mega gains, look at that. We fucked up the first sector of this lap too. Security lift, stab the brakes, car actually turns. Holy shit. No! We're good. So I've counted like 5 major mistakes I made this lap. I don't think that'll be enough to break into the 5s. That going off in the grass fucked me there. But it's gonna be close at the line between myself and George. Really should turn on Delta, but this is how I've always played Racer. Always run with the ghost car. So if I'm like giving you seizures from like flicking back and forth, just tune out for a couple minutes, I guess. So we're in front of George now, but again, tons of mistakes. So, gotta run another one with that set. Yeah, as you can see, we gained a ton of time already. I really blew that first sector. No, I braked too late last time here. Oh, I actually got caught. Never mind. Only need 2 tenths to get into the 5s, and we have 3. Nice. Way too hot. Never mind. But I don't even think we got passed by the ghost car. If not, it's close. I'm getting obliterated now. It's not a good mistake to make. But we're like kind of holding with it. I know I fuck up this corner on the hot lap, so we'll gain time here if we get it right. Just a bit. I don't know if you can see because of the stream quality, but you can just barely see the ghost car in front of me now. Again, tonight I think I'm just going to go until I get a 5, because this can spiral out of control really quickly. Really good entry and exit into the carousel, as I almost die. We did gain about a car length on exit there. It's a little loose. Don't really like that. Great line through there. That's probably how you're supposed to take that. Gain some serious ground on the ghost car now. Security lift through here. Tuck the nose in. Then it's flat-footed for the next couple of seconds. Slight amount of understeer through there. Oh, and I went on the grass last lap. Forgot about that. Security kick with the brakes. Really wanted to get that corner right. So in this car, for some of the high-speed sections, I'm sorry I don't have my pedal inputs up, but I'm like stabbing the brake, like a microsecond, so the nose sets and the car will cut in. Otherwise, because the aero balance is so far to the rear, it won't force air over the splitter, and your car will just understeer off the track. We are in the 5 bracket right now. Bit early braking there. Really shitty final corner, but you know what? We're gonna run in the 5s. That'll be a 59.5 P12. Really didn't expect it to get that quick, but we are officially in the 5s. P12 out of 1600 and something. So, we achieved our goal rather quickly. In 48 minutes since starting the stream, having never driven the car before, we are in the 5-minute range and sitting P12, which I'll go ahead and save that setup right now. That was a 5:59.5, I think. Sure. Sorry, I'm like alt-tabbing to see. So, what I'm going to do, because George is going to want another shot at this, I will take down my post-it note temporarily, and we will go through the setup and what I did and why. So post-it notes off the screen. We've now run a 5:59, and I'll just go through it here one by one. We'll start from the bottom. Preload, I just want more kick under power. Upping the preload ups that kick when you first apply the throttle. That's putting it in really simplified turns. I have turn traction control off. You do not need it in this car. Brake bias and brake pressure is 50-50. I like, so it handles kind of like our stock car. I like jumping on the brakes and having the rear end come around. Pressure is at 100 for the same reason. Wing, I don't know if 38's the way to go. Honestly, like, I think higher downforce might go quicker. But that was something that George tried in his stream and it didn't really seem to affect him, so I tried it just to gain the couple kilometer more on the straightaway. Tire compound, R3E is still kind of funny this way, where when you run in leaderboard contests, you, what's the word I'm looking for? You aren't allowed to change tires, you aren't allowed to change pressures. Anti-roll bar. This is something, again, I found in Group C. I don't know if you guys caught earlier on in the stream. I found in the Group C cars, the aero balance is so rearward that you need to take out the front bar. And this is something we've done when we raced front-wheel drive Hornets. If you go on my channel from a few years ago when I ran Chevy Cavalier, we all cut out the front bar in our cars because you get that insane amount of turn. Otherwise, you just understeer. Rear bar, I think I just turned down a bit so it wasn't super stiff, because if you have too stiff of a rear bar in these cars, when you get sideways through the center of the corner, the rear end will start hopping, and you'll bleed off speed that way. But I didn't want to go full-on disconnect. Just yet anyway. Ride height, I increased a shit ton, basically for two reasons. One, it's the Nurburgring and you're going to bottom out everywhere here, no matter what. Two, I believe this car has underside aero. So the way this physics engine works, and it's across all ISI motor games, including P-Cars, which is based on a derivative of ISI motor. When you have a higher ride height like this, you get air on the underside diffuser, or any sort of underside aero that the devs have modeled in the physics engine, and that'll give you some mid-corner grip. Camber you usually set for tire temps across simulators. This is what, if you've watched my AC streams when I race with Ethan, Ethan's a really big camber guy, and he will sit there and he'll try and equalize the tire temps, which is what you're supposed to do in a real car. For hot lapping, it honestly doesn't matter because a lot of devs turn off tire wear. So what I try and do is I try and think of camber of like an athlete planting his foot like on a football field, and how much he's turning or banking his foot when he plants and makes a cut. And if that's at both ends of the cars, it's going to do different things. So to get even more turn in, again, because the rear wing on this car is huge, I intentionally went with less camber in the front so it would have this tons of rear end swing when I turned in. Springs, I think I left stock, did I not? You know what? Let's save the 559.5 set. Did I leave the spring stock? I did. I didn't touch the springs. So that was one thing I didn't have to do. Bump and rebound. In this game, just setting at the minimum value seems to work. And your shocks, Ethan's going to kill me if I get this explanation wrong, so I'm really sorry. But your shocks essentially determine your weight transfer. And it's kind of like sitting on a cloud that keeps the car up. And I felt like if you just put the bump and rebound to the lowest value, the car sits naturally lower. So it's a center of gravity thing. It's basically removing the cloud of hydraulic fluid that the again, I'm probably getting this wrong, but you're removing that cloud of hydraulic fluid that the car naturally sits on, with the shocks keeping the car like up a bit. So this is just more of like an additional spring adjustment. And of course, under braking and under power, when it shifts all that weight, the shocks don't really prevent that weight from being transferred. So when I get on the brakes, for example, front bump, when I have a setting of one click bump and one click rebound, when I jump on that brakes, the nose will really pitch forward, and that'll kind of change the aero balance of it, especially in this car with how light it is and the kind of air. It'll do all sorts of weight transfer stuff. So I wanted the weight to go to the front, and then on acceleration I wanted it to pitch backwards towards the rear. And then lastly, toe. So again, this is an exploit. This is the part of the exploit setup that George found. R3E allows like really crazy values like this. Usually I run 0.1 in the front, as you saw earlier, and then like 0.4 in the rear. That's negative front and then positive rear. But again, George has found just from his time playing R3E, because he's with Sector 3, that these two values seem to just work and give you free speed. So I set those and just left them all session. So that is and Baker7498 says Nissan ZX Turbo had no front bar. Yeah, that's correct. I actually was PM'd by a buddy of mine saying, after I told him what I was doing in the Group C cars, he's like, no, that's actually correct, because he was a big IMSA guy in the 80s, so he followed that series when it was like the current series. So yeah, that's correct, and that's kind of where that setup trick comes from. I just use rebound to jack the car further down. Yeah, you can do that too. Me personally, though, I kind of have a sick sense of pride running laps and setting good times with like retarded setups. I enjoy that part of sim racing. But yeah, but before I kill the stream, if you guys got any more questions, I'm going to back out and I'm going to load the replay because I'm pretty sure it's saved, and we'll watch it from the spectator cam. If you guys got any questions, now is the time, or anything you want to talk about before I sign off for a bit. We'll check the leaderboard here one more time. I probably got bumped already, but nope, we are sitting P12. So, there's a guy from the Netherlands, 2 Germans, Italian, German, Netherlands, Brazil, French, German, Portuguese, Italian. We are, by what looks to be a pretty significant margin, the fastest North American. Which is, you know what, it's really not bad considering I'm primarily an oval guy. I don't think that's too bad of a time out of 1,651 people. And we achieved that pretty quickly, so I'm quite happy with that. So again, I'll show a tour of Race Room here and the leaderboard challenge. You can find this on when you boot the game, and this is a free challenge, and Race Room is a free-to-play game. So if you don't own this game for whatever reason, now is probably not a bad time to check it out, because this is a really neat car that you get to drive for free. So when you boot up the game, you get your main menu, you go competitions, and it'll basically just be right there. And you click on the Volkswagen IDR challenge, and it'll bring you to this splash screen. You go leaderboard, and this green button here is launch event. You don't need to buy anything, you just need to install the game, which again is free on Steam. I know that's weird because I work for like a competitor's company and they kind of have beef with each other, but no, I'm telling you right now, this car's a lot of fun to drive. This game's really, really good. You can get it for free, you can drive this car for free, it's really easy. So that's how you set that up. You just click launch event, it'll give you your list of assists, and you pick from there which get real is what you want to do, and you're on the track. So, to watch the replay, hopefully it's saved. I will be mad if it didn't. Oh boy. It did not save. This game's a bit goofy like that. But, I believe if I just load this and go to the final lap, because I mean, we ran the 59.5 and then quit out. So we'll just go to the end. But yeah, now's the time to spam the chat with stupid shit or ask some questions. The competition ends in October? Does it? NA Sim Racers, lol. Yeah, that's really the shitty part about living in Western Canada is there's like a lot of the competitions I would gladly run in, both for this game and for like Project Cars 2, they're all European based, so like, I'm sorry guys, I'm at work, you know? And then there's a very small selection of races to run in NA hours. Like you basically, like as shitty as it is for me to say, you basically have to have iRacing if you live in North America, because that's where the largest group of NA sim racers are. Dampers and minimum, because ISI devs for some reason have 2 stiff dampers by default always. Is that the reason? I'll have to get on Facebook with you after, but okay, so this is cool. Or you know what? This is me sitting in the pits. So, like, is this the lap I ran? This is kind of a pain in the ass. I have to, like, click here. This really, really sucks. But, like, how do I... It's page up, right? Yeah, there it is. I mean, I presume this is the lap. NA loves iRacing for some god-awful reason. Honestly, it's just the NASCAR. And I mean, I can't blame them when there's really no other option to race like NASCAR online against a big group of people. Like, what are you gonna do? Okay, so I'm gonna guess it's this lap coming up. In fact, it pretty well should be. So again, you can, holy shit. What's can we talk about precision driving here for a second? It's cutting that rather close. That's it's kind of unbelievable there. I can't believe that wasn't considered a collision. Wow. But anyway, that's what you're supposed to do there. You're supposed to swing wide and then cut back in. The air noise is ridiculous out here. That's not precision, that's luck. Yeah, that's a Gran Turismo cutting track. No, that was completely insane. Like that'll be one I post on Instagram and not even feel shame about. But yeah, like driving wise, it just feels like an LMP2 car with a ton of downforce and no oversteer at all. But it is fun, like especially if you're looking to get into R3E and you don't want to deal with like their off-brand like free content. This is not a bad idea. Oh yeah, and I blew that corner. So we ran a 5 like completely botching. Insert German corner name here. Sorry guys, I don't know the names to the ring. And this car, for whatever reason, like for how low slung it is and how stiff it should be, it takes curbs like a monster. What happened to the Asian that spammed you with irrelevant arcade and mobile games and obsessed with you? That dude was awesome, okay? Like that's like when we talk about PRC, like I really didn't want to cover just like Sims or just arcade games. Like I really appreciated that someone was like sending me in like tips about like obscure like Asphalt 8 shit. Like I kind of wanted it to be an all-encompassing site. So like you could sign on one day and be like, "Oh, there's an article about an iRacing physics exploit." Or you could sign in on a completely different day and be like, "Oh, there's this like long ass rant about Asphalt 8." Like I kind of wanted that kind of environment. So I really appreciated that. And he ran a Twitter account that like took all the funny comments like from our comment section and would like make an archive of them. Like that dude was awesome. Race room tires and slip angle still looks wrong. Yeah, like for the record, I still really like this game, but there is some weird shit, especially when you try and sustain a slip angle, that doesn't feel quite right. That was, oh yeah, we almost died here. I remember this lap. Yeah, we got very crossed up there. But it's okay. If you don't die, anything's okay. That might be why one toe works. Hey, you know what? I think you're onto something. maybe I'll PM this to JF and see what he says about it. I know some people don't like the art style of this game because it's like It's not. I don't think it's really realistic. It's kind of cartoonish, but I've always still kind of liked the art style, in a sense. It does look really good in motion, especially with some of the blur options they have. Well, it's a free to play game, but your underlying motor is, or your underlying engine is the ISI motor. Well, and that's the weird part. Like, it is a free add-on, but you can't actually use this car in like single race, which is really strange. Like, it's only in this competition, so I don't know if they'll add it later or if this is like a beta version. So that's why it's just in this. I think that's another instance of precision driving right there. Is it? Yeah, it's close, but the grass monster was fairly close. Not perfect, but Volkswagen is probably paying Race Room to add it. Yeah, I mean, that's possible. You never know. It is a sweet car, though. Like, I really like... And another game that was good for this, too, is the Sebastian Loeb game. I kind of like when we have these experimental cars every once in a while. Because, like, you can only run an Audi R8 GT3 for so long. But, like, here... When you drive this, especially in R3, it's like it's just an open book. No one's driven anything like this before. No one knows setup-wise what to do with it. Like, everyone's kind of have their guesses, but there's no, okay, it's a GT3 car, so you just do this, and then you destroy everyone. Mercedes DTM cars got added later. Yeah, that makes sense. A league in this thing would be fun. How close did I cut to this wall? Not very. But yeah, that was definitely the lap, from what I remember. And then I just shut it off here because it's over. VW wants to enter an all-electric car at Le Mans, but ACO isn't playing ball. Yeah, I mean, I understand because, like, the whole race is structured around, like, you have your pit stops and all that kind of stuff. So, like, how do you write rules for an all-electric car like this? Like, I presume they'd enter the IDR in, like, a low downforce config. But then, like, you don't have to refuel, right? Like, there's weird shit. Anyway, what else is on here? I do have, like, a replay archive, but as you can see, I'm not really that good at deleting my replays. I should probably get around to it. Can I search by all-time best? Filters. Game? No. Yeah, there's this ugly green orb. Anyways, that's going to be a stream. Like I said, I want to dick around in the crew 2 a bit tonight and just relax. But thank you for coming out. I'm surprised we, within an hour, got into the 5s. And more, I don't want to say figured out this car, but we got a lot of speed out of it. And yeah, maybe we'll see you later tonight, or just around in general.